Weep, Rana, Weep, Ninibong, and welcome back to my channel. And it's finally happened. Yes, the 69 nice billion-dollar deal for Microsoft to acquire Activison Blizzard King is now going through. So yesterday, as I was on a plane jetting back from the Netherlands via Dusseldorf, it was announced that the CMA over here in the UK, who are one of the people who've been holding this whole deal up over cloud gaming, really? Okay, fine. But they were holding it up, and they came out and they said the new deal for Microsoft to buy Activision without cloud gaming rights has been cleared by the CMA, and the CMA conclude it would preserve competitive prices and better services. We could have told them that about 9 months ago, even with cloud gaming, but hey ho, you do your own thing, you go your own way, CMA, because everybody else was against you. So with that all being done, of course Microsoft just came straight out and was like, deal is done. Now there is some legal shenanigans that still need to happen over in America because, yeah, they're not, Lena Khan, I think it is, who's been leading it over there. She's not quite ready to give up her in-court humiliation fetish that she seems to have, and wants to press a little bit further with something that will probably end just as well as the first court did. So all in all, this is done. And we could start seeing games very, very, very soon. But what games? What is this now bringing to the table for us Xbox fans? Well, as you can already see in the background, the video that I've got, this one is definitely the Xbox trailer video that they released. It's about a minute and a half. I'll link it down in the description if you want to check it out. But we are getting a whole host of games that are now being brought into the Xbox family. So these are things like the one that all the kerfuffle and all of the fuss was about. Of course, Call of Duty, one of the biggest gaming franchises out there. They're also bringing Crash Bandicoot, which is super funny, right? Because previously Crash Bandicoot, that was definitely a PlayStation mascot, now owned and bought by Microsoft. Now this also brings the Diablo franchise under here as well. Gabriel Knight, which is not something I know about. Geometry Wars, which is again is not something that I have really played, but it was a Vivendi title. Guitar Hero. Now Bobby Kotick, who love him or hate him, probably hate him, most people do. And I now hate him even more because it turns out this dude is a James Corden fan as well, because he had a weird press conference just this week, probably knowing that this was going to happen. So he had this weird press conference where he spoke about the future of Activision with James Corden in attendance. Oh, God, I hate that guy. Sorry. But what he mentioned was Guitar Hero as well. So yeah, that's another Activision thing that they now own in Xbox. So who knows? We could see the rebirth of Guitar Hero. And I have to say, we have some cool arcade bars near my house, and I've been playing that game recently. And yeah, it's been a while since I played Guitar Hero at home. And I used to love Guitar Hero. I love music and stuff like that as well. So I'd quite like to see a return for Guitar Hero. There's also the Gun franchise, Hearthstone, which from what I remember is a card-based game. Heroes of the Storm, Heavy Gear, Heretic Software. Other things that they have as well are like Lost Vikings, of course, Overwatch, which although currently has a fair few challenges, has been a pretty damn big game in the past. Phantasmagoria, Pitfall, which is just classic, Police Quest, Prototype. Now I don't know if you remember back in the day, Prototype, I quite enjoyed that. It was the same time as PlayStation had something that was very similar. I remember the second one was called Second Son, and they were very similar games on two different platforms. But Prototype would be something I would love to see come back. That would be absolutely fantastic. Singularity, Space Quest, I don't remember Space Quest, Spyro, of course, They are the king of 3D platformers, right? With Spyro, and then also what we've already spoke about as well, which was Crash Bandicoot. Something I would love to see a return of is Starcraft. That would be fantastic. I love myself some RTS type games as well. And then Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is something else that I would absolutely adore to see more of. True Crime, Warcraft, and World of Warcraft. There's some other smaller titles as well, but they're the big ones. I would absolutely love to see Tony Hawk make a real big impact. But something that they no longer really talk about too much for us on this channel is Transformers, because Activision also have a whole host of Transformers games under their umbrella, so we could start to see these come through to Game Pass, and that would be absolutely incredible. And thank you to TF Wiki for the next part of this, because they've got all the list of Activision Transformers games that you can get. And I didn't actually realize that the history of Transformers games with Activision actually goes all the way back to 1986 with the game Battle to Save Earth. So they've got a massive history. Would we ever see this one come back to Game Pass? I don't think this is something we would see come to Game Pass, but it's definitely something I'm going to try and emulate very, very soon to see. One of the games that we could see, though, is the Transformers game based on the original movie. No, the original live action movie. Let's be fair here, people. So that could be something that we do see. There's a couple of DS games as well, one of them being Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, but also Transformers Animated as well. So these are things we could see, but with them being Nintendo, who knows if they're the kind of things that we would see, because they're already connected to another one. Then we get into things like Transformers War for Cybertron. Now this was a multi-platform game, and this is a game that everybody within Transformers love, and Hasbro has already spoke about wanting to bring some of these games through as well. There's also Cybertron Adventure, which was for the Wii. I've never played this. I didn't have a Wii until doing some research for this. I didn't actually realize it was a game. Then there is Dark of the Moon that was also on Xbox, so we could see a return for this game as well. Then there's a Transformers Prime game that was on the Wii. I don't think we'll see this again with it being a Nintendo one. But then there is Fall of Cybertron, and of all the Cybertron games here, this has to be my favorite of the three, let's say, but I really only class it as two, because the next one that we talk about, which is Rise of the Darkspark, is absolutely atrocious, and it's not a game that I would want to play again. But hey, if it comes to the Xbox Game Pass, that could be cool. And then finally, there is the best Transformers game of all time, and that is Transformers Devastation. And that's actually the game that I've been playing in my shorts, as I keep telling everybody, but also the game that you can see right now happening in the background of this video. So this game right here is Transformers Devastation, and is the best Transformers game in history. Fight me. So I guess the only question now for us Xbox and Xbox Game Pass fans specifically is when. When do we see these games? And let's leave out the Transformers games, because Hasbro has pushed to have Transformers games on there. But yeah, Activision, who knows, and you know, I know that Microsoft definitely always want to expand what's on there, so there is hope. If there's hope from Hasbro, then there's definitely hope from an Activision point, as long as they have the code, because the rumor was they lost the code and then Hasbro had to backtrack. But Microsoft apparently have already made a bit of a statement, because this was reported by Windows Central. The gaming giant said it doesn't have immediate plans to offer Modern Warfare 3 or Diablo 4. Instead, the gaming giant will likely look to adding premium games to Game Pass in 2024. Which is quite a turnaround, because I think when I heard the team over in Activision talking about bringing Diablo 4 to Game Pass at all, they basically said, no, we have no plans to bring Diablo 4 to Game Pass at all. So now we can look at 2024, which is quite cool for those of you who like Diablo 4, including my hairdresser, who absolutely loves Diablo and constantly plays Diablo, so that's quite cool. But when will we get smaller games? Who knows? I mean, the hope for me is that they treat this very much like they did when they acquired Bethesda, where after the deal was done, which it now is, a couple of weeks later we just saw a whole host of the older games go on, and then there was just a massive dump of games onto Game Pass of the older games. I still wish that some of the older Bethesda games were certainly available on the Xbox and not just Game Pass on PC, because that's also something that you have to think about here, that certainly some games will be available on Xbox Game Pass, but there's Game Pass Ultimate or Game Pass PC where we may see things like Starcraft come there where they don't come on Xbox. So even on Game Pass there may be some separation here when it comes to Game Pass Ultimate and Game Pass PC and then Game Pass on your Xbox console. But let's just hope, I mean, for me, the big things that I'm looking forward to is hopefully getting some Transformers games on my Xbox, because currently I'm playing this one on my PlayStation, which is cool. I love my PlayStation as well, but I'm always achievement hunting and things like that more on my Xbox than I am on my PlayStation. So apart from Transformers games, the main thing I'm looking forward to, I have to say, is a bit of Tony Hawk. I have really put off playing the newer version, or the remastered version of Tony Hawk's 1 and 2. I just put it off because there's so many other things for me to play at the moment that I'm just like, oh, I don't want to spend that money on playing a game that I've already completed. But if it comes to Xbox Game Pass, then I will be all over that. It'll be a great game to get back into. Essentially for free, because I pay for Game Pass no matter what. Not exactly free, I get it, but it'll be great to play that. So this is great news for Xbox gamers, great news for Game Pass players, and great news for gamers in general. I think I own a PlayStation and an Xbox. I like my Xbox probably a little bit more than my PlayStation, but I have both, and I think this actually brings a little bit of parity to the two consoles. So I think that when you look at what franchises Xbox has now and what ones PlayStation have now, they're both really in a position where we can fight for each other, and hopefully we'll see a really good future for gaming going forward. So that's everything for me from this update. I'll come back with a Transformers update tomorrow, but I covered the beginning of this saga, and now I wanted to make a full video commemorating the end of this saga. It's all done. The deal is done. 69 billion. Nice. Peace.